Hello, everyone, and welcome to League Review. I'm your host, William, and today we are talking Week 4 of the LCS. It's been a crazy week again. Sorry, we are actually a day late here. We've had quite a big week with everything going on, and we weren't able to quite do the podcast yesterday. Unfortunately, Ryan has work today as well, and Brian's still not able to come as well. So it's just going to be a solo cast. My fingers were crossed that maybe we could get at least one for this, but unfortunately we're not. So it's just going to be a solo cast today for the LCS. The recap, it was actually busy for me as well. Like, it's been all three of us just super busy this week. So unfortunately, it might be a little bit quicker-ish. Might have less in-depth discussion, obviously, because I'm by myself. But I'll try. I do have Ryan's notes, so that helps. And I do have Brian's predictions and everything. Week 4, I went 5-5. Brian went 4-6, and Ryan went 6-4. And if you're tuning in for the first time, you're like, these guys suck at predictions. And I'll tell you, you're right now. The NA is so damn difficult to predict. It is insane the amount of versatility and just like this team beats this team, this team beats this team, this team beats this team type scenario that we are going on currently through in NA. Total for the year, I am 22-18. I am proud to just be above 500. Brian is 17-23 and Ryan is 19-21. It has been a rough year. I've gone 5-5 3 of the 4 weeks. Like, I always try to get at least a minimum of 6, but like maybe I should say I always try for a 73 or 7-3, roughly 70% pick rate. That's where I'm very close to overall over all regions. So that's about what I always try to achieve, and I always feel like my knowledge of the game should be able to make me at a 70%. Instead of a coin. And it's just been a coin. Your knowledge does not matter this year at all. It's been so frustrating. But let's go over a little bit of the topics. And we can actually start with a topic that actually just came out today here. Let me pull up this and then move this here. Okay. And the topic that happened today was actually CLG Twitter. Let's go here. And Pobelter is actually starting for... Where is it? There we go. Pobelter is starting for the mid lane as for CLG this week. So he's actually just signed with CLG, apparently. I guess he's no longer the coach on Team Liquid. I guess that ended pretty quickly, unfortunately, which I always love Pobelter, so I'm super happy for him to get a starting spot. I'm sad for him to leave Team Liquid again, but he's now has a starting spot on CLG. Unfortunately, that means for Crown is going to be benched this week, so kind of weird, you know? Let's see how Reddit League of Legends. Let's just go real quick, and we can. I love that name, Assassin Tank Support Mage Orn. It's probably here for. And it is not. Okay, here we go. Major change. Pobelter joins. I just want to see some people's reactions to this. This was kind of a crazy situation where can you imagine? I saw a comment 3 years ago if you said Crown is getting benched for Pobelter. Oh man. And pretty much probably the only quality non-important. Oh man. But yeah, that was the biggest news of today for sure for League. Outside of LPL starting to at least stream some scrims, which is what we gotta get what we can get. This is my other Twitter account. I do follow all these teams on my main Twitter account, just so you are aware. But yeah, that was some pretty interesting news, I thought. Now let's talk about a few other topics. Cloud9 continuing to dominate, like just a solid 8-0 start by them. They look very, very good. Just all things considered, Cloud9 looks pretty much like the best team in NA and one of the best teams in the world right now. My only possible concern is that NA looks so bad as a region. I always forgot to do this. but NA looks so bad as a region at the moment that I would give a little bit of a caution to that. Like, maybe they are just simply crushing a bad region, similar to Flash Wolves in the LMS. But they are actually crushing NA more so than I believe any other region has ever done, or any other team has done to any other region. Like, it is just pure dominance all across the board. I believe all 5 of their players are like the top in KDA and stuff like that, and just simply they're all just doing amazing. FlyQuest and Immortals right now are tied for second. I think that's I love FlyQuest. I don't like Immortals, which is so funny. I was telling Ryan about that. I'm supposed to be the Immortals fan. My team's coming back. I was Immortals fan before they disbanded, and then like they come into the league, and they got nothing for me right now. Like, I have zero passion to watch Immortals games. I'm not actively in it. I'm actively in FlyQuest games. I am always cheering for FlyQuest, and not just because of their like marketing and their like planting trees. They're just very fun to watch for me. They're just a fun team to watch. And we talked about this a little bit 2 days ago on the LCK podcast. There is not a lot of good League of Legends right now. Like, the Korea looks pretty bad. LEC looks okay. The LEC definitely looks like the best region at the moment that's live playing. And the LPL is not playing right now. NA looks god-awful. And then the wildcards also do not work right now. Like, they're just not good at all. Like, honestly, I was gonna mention this earlier. I did mention this to Ryan. The wildcard podcast now, I'm pretty much probably only going to put my predictions on the screen for at the end of the LEC podcast, I'm thinking, because that will be the last podcast for the week, and we won't be doing wildcard podcast anymore. I just don't have enough time personally to watch all the wildcard games anymore. We've had a lot of stuff like actually, I just told Ryan right before this podcast, I was like, the issue I'm having right now is having stuff to do in real life, which has not happened in a few years. And it's been like, I've been like, oh shit, the podcast only works like at the level of what I was doing when I have absolutely no life. I have to have absolutely no life to be able to watch all 12 regions at the same time. And so we're probably going to cancel the Wildcard podcast. I know it didn't get too much views, but I will still make my predictions because I still want to keep my predictions going for every single, having every single region predicted. So it's going to make my predictions actually really tough because I'm only going to be able to catch bits and pieces of the highlights. I won't actually be able to watch the games as much as I used to. But anyway, that's Wildcard. Let's talk about NA, the true not Wildcard region. But yeah, so we talked about Cloud9. FlyQuest, I do really like FlyQuest. They're overperforming from what I had them in 6th place to start, which was pretty much way higher than most people. I saw most people were like 8th at best. So I did have them at 6. I kind of really believed in them a lot more so than most teams, but not the level. 5 and 3 sounds about right, to be honest, but the fact that 5 and 3 is in 2nd place is kind of where we're at in NA. Yeah, Immortal, same thing. 5 and 3 is like an okay record. I wouldn't even call 5 and 3 a great record. You know what I mean? It's only 63, like 2 losses and you're back to a 500 team. You go 0-2 for 1 week and you're already 500. So 4 and 4 for Dignitas, 4 and 4 for Golden Guardians, and TSM 3 and 5, 3 and 5, 3 and 5. It's been a hell of a year so far. Only team I see out of NA right now at the moment is Seat 9. But outside of that, TSM really struggled this week. 0-2 week for them. Golden Guardians popped off with 2-0 week. That was pretty nice. That was very surprising to see. Hunted Thieves still on a skid. CLG's, I will say, with Vitality playing the way that they played this week and they kind of looked competitive in their games, CLG might be the worst team in the West now. I've always been holding that spot for Vitality basically since like week 2. But yeah, CLG's making a run for that spot of worst team in the West. All right, let's talk power rankings here. So power rankings, I do have Ryan's notes and I have my own notes and I have Brian's predictions as well. But okay, let's pull this up. I do have the power rankings set. All right, number 10. We all got CLG. I'm pretty sure that's just kind of known easily. Ryan also had him at negative 3.5 in his point system, and they did drop down. But Ryan mentioned that, and just so you know, CLG's point total could be lower. But one, it would just make almost every other team have higher totals for beating them, and thus not changing much. And if not awarding as much to teams for beating them, unless they stomp them, they get 1 point. I'm not going to penalize them for losing more, or for them more for losing. The alternative is I treat them like Cloud9 and don't count them at all in my calculations, which wouldn't be fair to the one win they have and only serve to undeservedly bump teams like Immortals and EG who struggled and lost to them. But yeah, CLG sucks. I'm sorry. Like, we try. I always say that my best intentions is to try and be as positive as I can about most teams and try and put a positive spin on what they're going to do. I can't. My notes that I took before were like, I can't do that. My only positive thing is maybe Pole Belters spark some life in the team. But, like, Ruin has gone from a great first few games as a top laner to, okay, he's much better than Darshan at least, to, oh my god, he's bad, to, oh my god, he's nearly as bad as Darshan. Like, this man has fallen so quickly. I don't know if it's just, like, the scouting report on him, like, people figured him out. It's not his meta maybe anymore. Like, something has happened severely. He's overstepping like crazy. He's getting caught out. He's losing lane. He's losing by CS margins. The only actual victory CLG has this year is because they played Soraka top. Like, that's literally the only reason they won that game. Like, Soraka just won the game for them, and that's how broken Soraka top is right now, that it can give CLG even a win. Like, outside of that, they have not won a single game, and it has been a rough time. Very rough time. I have Evil Geniuses as my number 9 team still. I know they're coming off a win. Like, I know that. But, like, man, this team does... Or they're not coming out. They did just lose. They lost to C9. But they did come off a win against Immortals. But, like, this team just... The coin is flipped tails a lot more often. This is a weighted coin now at this point. You know what I mean? Like, this is no longer a 50-50 team to me. They're just... they're a 60-40 team. And the 60 is the bad side. They really don't look too clean. Since Garen does not look anywhere remotely close to MVP levels this year. He has actually been one of the worst junglers in all of the... Let's see. We have Blabbers looked amazing. Santorin revived. Xmithy, fantastic. Grig, ugh. Closer, fantastic. Dardoch, pretty good. Medios, alright. Broxa, 2 games. 2 games on jet lag. 1 game was terrible. 1 game was actually pretty good. Wiggly's been terrible too. So Wiggly, Svenskeren, and Grig I would put as the bottom 3 junglers in the league right now, which is very interesting to say considering initially Wiggly was like a breakout last year, like a breakout star that was like a fantastic pickup for CLG. Like, he just looked great. He was like a young talent, young NA talent, and all of a sudden we're like, oh wow, this is another nice jungler for NA to pick up. And now he just looks like he's completely regressed to what he was like the split before, and that's not good. Like we talked about, CLG, everyone's regressed. Ruin, Wiggly, Crown, Stixay's been bad, Smoothie's been bad. The whole team's been terrible. Yeah, Svenskeren has just entered a lot in these games. Like, it's been really bad. Kumo's been okay. I would say he's about exactly what I expected. He hasn't blown me away, but he hasn't necessarily fed anywhere, which is okay, you know. But it's not good when you have one of your main players rising up, or that you had as a high peak of your team. I would say Svenskeren was the biggest pickup as the reigning MVP of NA. Like, he was supposed to be their best player. To have him crash this hard makes it look worse because none of your other people are exceeding expectations. I think Jizuke is doing about what I thought. He's having some good games, but he's having some bad games as well. Bang has looked very meh still. He's looked better than he was on 100 Thieves, but it's still not too great. And Zazel looks pretty bad, to be honest. Like, he's not looking good at all. So that's why I have him at number 9. Ryan actually has him at number 7, and Brian has him at number 8. So I'm actually a little more down on this team than the others. They actually have 100 Thieves at 9 for Brian, and Ryan has Team Liquid at number 9, which I will read his note, but I severely disagree with him, and we will talk about this briefly here. He said, for Team Liquid being this low, they are a victim of having almost all of their losses being utter smashes, and their only other quality win, aside from versus FlyQuest, was versus CLG. I expect them to bounce back, but they have a lot of catching up to do going into the second round robin from where they are now. I disagree with that last point 100%. Team Liquid have almost zero catching up to do, and that is because FlyQuest... Okay, FlyQuest versus GG and CLG, that's fine. But, like, Immortals is facing C9, that's going to be a loss. And Dignitas, that game's... Even though I have Dignitas 8, I feel like that game is almost a 50-50 type situation. Though the jungler advantage is heavily in Immortals' favor. But they're second place. Second and third. Team Liquid is only 2 games out of second place. Like, it looks bad with them being tied for 7th at the moment, but they are 1 game out of 4th and 2 games out of 3rd, or 2nd and 3rd, technically. Like, I don't think that's a lot of catching up to do, and I think now that initially, like I said before the loss to Golden Guardians, I would have given them this extra week to be like, okay, this is my final week for them. No, they don't get that anymore. But they are facing Evil Geniuses and Dignitas, who I have as the 8 and 9 team anyway. So I do absolutely expect a 2-0 week from them here. So even if Immortals is probably going to lose 1 game against Cloud9, that's fine. And then FlyQuest might lose to Golden Guardians, and Immortals might lose to Dignitas. I don't see FlyQuest losing to CLG at all, but so we're sitting here at essentially Team Liquid's probably going to be 1 game out of second. I'm going to say probably 1 game out of second place by the end of this week. So I'm not worried nearly to the level of other people, I guess. That might be biased, but I mean, I really do not personally feel that at all, that they're even remotely close to the 9th team in the standings. I know the math says it. Like, Ryan has all the math, but I completely disagree. And my power rankings are always, like I say, I always consider who is the best team. And to determine best team, I do a hypothetical, because I look at stats, obviously, but then when it comes down to the close ones, I do a hypothetical, and all of NA is close right now, let's be honest. Like, literally 2 through 9th is a 2-game situation. I think best of 5. Who wins the best of 5? And not there's a few of these teams that do not. Like, EG. I see a chat, but I can't see. There's something under it. Or over it. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I sorry, Ryan. I didn't see your chats. I had something like over the chat hiding it. But Ryan said, it's math, man. I don't make the rules. It's power rankings coming out of week 4, dude. And they beat CLG, who just been world champion crown for pole vaulter. I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, you're right. But, like, my gut, or my way I do power rankings is just different, I guess. I always see it as, like, I could see, I told Ryan on this weekend, I bet I can absolutely probably guarantee Team Liquid and Cloud9 will be the finals. I don't know who wins. I'm assuming probably Cloud9, especially if they keep up the level they are playing. But I don't see anyone beating Team Liquid in the playoffs if this roster gets this many weeks of prep with it. I just don't see it. I don't see it even being close. No, I have number 8. I have Dignitas. I talked about that a little bit earlier. I think Grig has been terrible these last few weeks. He's been just completely outmatched in the jungle. And it's really had effect on most of the solo lanes, and with Huni and Froggen actually regressing a bit as well. Like, that Fountain of Youth has completely dried up for Dignitas. I know they're 4-4. They're still in a nice position, only 1 game out of first, or out of second, sorry. But, like, I don't think so. I just do not. They were really interesting because of how dominant they looked in the first week, but outside of that, they've really kind of fallen apart, in my opinion. They're going back to their old tendencies of poor play. Like Grig is just getting out jungled. Froggen and Huni are just getting kind of outmatched in their 1v1s a bit, and Aframu's also getting beat pretty bad as well at the moment. It's just not looking too shiny for Dignitas. Same with 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves might be my most disappointing team so far this year. Like, I really expected more from Meteos. I think has really disappointed me this year. Cody's son has been kind of quiet. Like that's been very shocking to me. And Someday as well. I think that Someday has had his pop off games, but he's also had some not so pop off, like some really hard feeding games, which is kind of weird to me. Stunt and Ryoma have been okay. They've been decent enough that I don't really have any negatives to them at the moment. I didn't have high expectations going in, but the others I had such high expectations of their performance, and to see them performing so poorly is kind of disappointing to me. But I guess I have him 7th. Brian has him 9th. Ryan has him 8th. So I'm the one with the most optimism, and that's what the most optimism looks like right there. All right. Interestingly enough, I have Golden Guard. We all have number 6 completely different, which is interesting because we all have 100 Thieves, we all have Dignitas, we all have Evil Geniuses, and we all have CLG in the bottom 5. We each have one individual team that's not in the bottom 5 of the others. Mine is Golden Guardians. I have it number 6. Brian has TSM at number 6, which I think is kind of surprising, and Ryan has Team Liquid at number 9. I just think I'm gonna come on. It's been nice seeing Keith improve, but I need more. I absolutely need more from Keith and FBI before I can fully buy into the hype. I got him up to 6. I love Closer, like I said. Golden Glue's been all right. He's had some good games, but he's had some bad games as well. Hunter as well has been decent. But FBI and Keith, they're looking good right now. Can they keep it up for 2 weeks in a row or so, 3 weeks in a row? Like they're getting close to that level of, oh wow, maybe they're doing something really good now, but I need a little bit more before I start putting them in the top 5, if that makes sense. Because like we said, they're one game out of second to last place. There's almost no way you can power rank these properly because they're literally one game out of second to last, but they're one game out of second. And we're 4 weeks in. Like, we're not, only at the week 1 or 2. We're 4 weeks in now, and it's been like that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Top 5. I have TSM as number 5. Brian has Team Liquid as number 5. And Ryan has TSM at number 5. I think... So we're all very close on TSM, personally. I think that TSM is... Brian has them in 6. We all have them right now as a lower playoff team, which I think they could definitely improve. I like Broken Blade, I like Dardoch, I like Bjergsen on there, and I like Cobb. I just think that there's something... I don't know what it is with this team. They don't win? They didn't win this week. They sorry. C9 lost, throw it away. No big deal losing C9 right now. It's just the FlyQuest loss that just really confuses me, man. They were looking really hot, and it's almost like C9 kind of broke them a little bit, maybe? I hope not, because they were looking really good before that C9 game. And then they kind of got crushed at C9, and then they just lost to FlyQuest as well. So I'm hoping to see a bounce back against Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves this week, but... I'm worried about the mental of this team, you know? You always have that in the back of your mind with a Dardoch team, but, if they can have a clean mental, and not just Dardoch, most of TSM's had very rough mental for the most part the last few years, for sure. It's not been a nice place to play. It doesn't seem like it from the outside looking in. It looks like a very miserable place to play. So, we'll see how well that mental holds up. Maybe they just bounce back. Nice 2-0 week here, and everything goes back to normal for them, which I do actually kind of expect to happen, but especially because they got CLG next week as well. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. At number 4, I have Team Liquid. Brian had Team Liquid at number 5. Ryan had him at number 9. I think that... And then Ryan also... Let me pull up, see here. Ryan had Golden Guardians at number 3, and Brian had number 4. So we'll talk briefly Golden Guardians, actually. And he said, as for Golden Guardians, in the top three, they were the beneficiaries of popping off this week. 3 of their 4 wins were high quality, and 2 of those 3 were versus quality opponents in Team Liquid and Dim Cost. Their losses also haven't necessarily been stomps either, which also benefits their overall score. Which I meant, and that does make sense. That they have done much better than I expected them to do this week or this year. Like much, much better. I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous about Keith's support, man. It's not sold me yet. It's absolutely not sold me yet. Even it's looked much, much better though these last few weeks for sure. He's been much cleaner. You have to give him credit there. Yeah, I have Team Liquid number 4. I think with the addition of Broxa, I know they just beat CLG, but I think, again, I already told you the Immortals game last week was a complete trap. I should have picked Immortals. Broxa was coming off 2 days of being in NA and just like barely any sleep, probably from just jet lag. So like I said, that was because they lost the Golden Guardians. That was my last excuse game, and now from here on out it's fine. But like, they're essentially starting the season brand new while everyone is starting the season 5 weeks in, kind of thing. So I think it will be, but I think that will be enough. Now that I think the motivation and just kind of in general, the drive to play seemed like kind of down on Team Liquid side. Like I think they talked about it even before, whereas there was like pretty much no competition in NA, or the competition in NA kind of wasn't great. And that's why they've won the last 4 years in a row, 4 splits in a row. And that kind of mentality I don't like at all in general. I think you should always be, I'm always a never surrender, try hard type person. So I don't like that mentality whatsoever. And but I think that has taken effect on the team. And then like on top of that, not having a jungler, like having all this like mistake, they really kind of not quit necessarily, but even remember, it's not just jungler. Their coach Kane wasn't there for a while as well, like until like the last few days before the I think he arrived just with Sharnfire as well. So like they were pretty much all not together as a team. Pretty much way behind the rest of the teams in practice. So I think now that they got everyone together, it's all set. We're gonna see a much more dominant team coming in these next few weeks for sure. I'll still put Immortals above them right now in FlyQuest, but I expect that to change very soon. They'll probably go 2-0, and I'll probably put them right back up to number 2. They're not going to take the number 1 spot until the last game of the year, unless Cloud9 collapses, though. Guarantee it. There'll be no evidence, and even Team Liquid does not lose out for the rest of the split. Unless Cloud9 starts to stumble a lot, Cloud9 staying number 1. They've pretty much locked, like, number 1 is here. You can't even see it because it's above the camera, and number 2 is, like, down here. It is, like, such a big gap between 1 and 2 at the moment. It's insane. But yeah, we all pretty much in agreement with Immortals on. I have them 3. Brian has them 2. Ryan has them 4. I guess that's no agreement whatsoever. I'm a liar. But Ryan mentioned that this could have been a huge week for Immortals, but their game versus EG made it a wash for them. And because their score was already too low to begin with a lot of their wins being low quality, they simply dropped through the other teams rising. And then, man, it's just like... we're all pretty high on FlyQuest right now, as you can see, but I don't think that high is that big. Like, FlyQuest can come out terrible this week, and they're dropping out of people's top 5, I feel like. So, yeah. Basically take from second, third, second, third, fourth, fifth, oops, that's not the right one, 6th, 7th, 8th, that is like the clump that we were talking about last year. 9th, let's throw in EG. Like your top 9 teams are the clump. 2 through 9. Cloud9's above the clump, CLG squished by the clump. And then you have the big clump in the middle. That's going to be the thumbnail right there. That exact description is absolutely going to be the thumbnail. But yeah, it's been rough in NA. It's been very lackluster. Let's talk. I do not have my players of the week this week, so we're just gonna give it straight to who won it. Let's just keep the trend going. Was it Niski this week? Let's give it to Niski. It would have been a Cloud9 player either way. Like they're just popping off right now. It's amazing what they're doing. Yeah. So, and then let's go to our predictions, which I do not have here, but we can pull up on the match review so we can do predictions live like this. All right. Let's hide that. Let's go here. Oopsies. And week 5. Nope. There we go. Week 5. Pull this up. Okay. So here are the games so far, and then I will put each prediction right here, and then eventually I'll put it on the stream tomorrow, or the stream the next day, and it'll be all set and look fancier when everyone is back. But okay, we got Will, Brian, and Ryan. Let's move them out a little bit so it's separated, and let's talk about game number 1. Game number 1 is between TSM and 100 Thieves. Let's go over Ryan's pick first, because Ryan gives me nice detailed notes with his picks. His first prediction is TSM. He absolutely, especially because Ryan thinks 100 Thieves is completely lost right now, almost to the level of CLG, which I agree with, actually. I think they're looking pretty sloppy. But he said, a perfect bounce-back game for TSM at their disappointing week for the team that looks lost in the shuffle and incapable of punishing or adapting to their moves. 100% agree. I am also taking TSM in this first game here. I think it's the same, almost same exact thing that he said, where it's a perfect chance for a bounce-back. It's just so easy. For almost, you know what I mean? Like, if you need a bounce back team to facing a team that has lost their identity completely is very, very good. Like, it's perfect for you. So and Brian also has TSM. So we're all looking on the TSM hype train. All right, I will put it on my own. I'll do my own picks first because that makes it a little easier for these on this side here. Live prediction. Technically, the predictions aren't live because they're already all made, but it just looks live, I guess. They're already all made, unfortunately. Pre-tape. But yeah, I didn't have time today to edit the screen with the predictions, so you get this version. Kind of like how we do in the wild card, or we used to at least. C9 versus CLG. Oh boy. There's nothing I can say about that game. Ryan, if you have anything, what did Ryan say here? I want to see this note to be empty. Okay, he said the ultimate trap game. C9 has never swept CLG in a split before. By the way, CLG's always gotten at least one win in the regular season. No, this is the, I guess G2 lost to Shulko, so anything is possible. But I would never ever predict something like that. It is absurd. We all pick C9. Very, very. Trap game, I think there's sometimes it's too low for a trap, you know? Alright, let's talk about Immortals versus Diggs. I think this one, personally, is a trap game for Immortals. I think this is actually pretty risky because I think... Oopsies. Nope. I didn't want that. Okay. I think this is pretty risky for Immortals here. I really do. I think their jungle is where it's really going to be nice. Brian, you are absolutely feeling Immortals, and so is Brian. I know I said Dignitas is like washed up right now. But I'm going to go Dignitas as an upset pick here over Immortals. I feel in my gut that the lanes, like the solo lanes, are just going to run over. There's going to run over Immortals here. I think that it's going to be tough. I want to see. This is what I want to see. I want to see Grig on Trundle. Smithy probably going to pick a tank jungler, like a Sejuani of some sorts. Give me Grig on Trundle. Grig has a decent Trundle.
Right, the gut is back. The gut has been very spot on this year, and I need to listen to it more. It's been very. I don't know. I hate that. I hate. It's the one thing I hate about baseball as well. When people are just like, "Oh man, trust your gut more than analytics." No, analytics can usually get you the correct way. Which it sounds like I feel like you're a hypocrite because I am because I'm about Ryan's math. I just don't agree with it. But the gut's been good this year. It's been real good. This is that game that I'm like, Dig's gonna come in. I think Hooney's gonna pop off on Soaz a bit. I think that Froggen's gonna pop off on Ica, and the bot lane is probably gonna go even. I think, but I don't think there'll be enough for Xmithia to do. And I'm really expecting Xmithia to be on Sejuani. And if I see a Sejuani, I want to instantly see a Trundle lock in on the Dig side. Trundle got buffed. Greg is good at Trundle. Give me that Trundle. Give me it. They both have immortals, though. In Ryan's reasoning, let's read Ryan's reasoning for immortals, which I believe is something kind of similar. Dig have the individual pieces to flex over immortals, and we'll have to this game, but I think immortals will come into this again with a plan and a chip as to the way the EG game went, and on top of that, or on top of more solid team play overall and a stronger jungle. Yep, we're kind of on the same page, you know? different game, or different prediction, but same page. GG versus FlyQuest. All right, let's see. I want to see what... I don't know what Brian has. I should know, but I don't. Ooh, we are different again. Okay. I'm going FlyQuest. I love this team. I think they are super, super aggressive. They're planting trees. Power Revival has had a revival with this team. It's actually worked out better than I've expected, I think, with Power Revival and Santorin really recovering. The only disappointing one at the team at the moment is Viper for me. I don't think he's had a very good year. But man, Wild Turtle and Ignar look pretty damn good right now. Ignar has been an amazing pickup. We said it in preseason that might be the dark horse for the best pickup of the season. And so far, it's been paying off really well from import-wise. I'd say Sven has been the best pickup right now. Or Vulcan, even, for C9, for sure. But yeah, I am the only one with FlyQuest. Brian and Ryan both have Golden Guardians. We have Ryan's reasoning is the dark horse for match of the week, and my bold prediction for the week as well. Fly have found themselves again, and GG are finally coming together as a team. Bot is a big focus this game, and I think GG know this and will be ready to hit Fly where it hurts. The most split, attacking Ignar in lane and keeping him pinned down. That is an amazing point. Amazing point. Viper did get the style on Riven in week 1, Ryan. That is true, but outside of that, he has not looked too great. Yeah, I think that is going to come down to, I think Closer is a very good jungle. I loved watching him in Turkey. I loved it. He probably was in my top 2 or 3 favorite players in Turkey. I love Pilot as well. Pilot was super fun to watch. Former Korean player though, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I think that I'm just all on the hype train for FlyQuest. Gives me some exciting stuff, and it's rare these days in League. I want my exciting stuff back, man. I'm gonna get some scrims from the LPL, which, by the way, is going to look awful. In my opinion, what do scrims in the LPL will look like? Let's be real. No, we're not talking about Jin Glad play. I know. Jin I don't talk about that team anymore. But yeah, think about the LPL and how aggressive and crazy they are on stage. What do they look like in scrims? It's gonna be fun to watch, but it's gonna be some ugly League of Legends for sure. But I'll take it right now at this point. I'll take it. We've had so much ugly League of Legends around the league that dude, I'll take around the world, I should say, not just league. I'll take anything that I can get. Oh boy, 2 different picks in both of you guys already in the first 4. I like it. I like spicing it up. I don't like us being all the same all the time. I can gain 2 games and I can just go way ahead of you guys and we're at the halfway point now. That will officially be the halfway point at this next game. And yeah, I think that will be
quite interesting. Next, we have Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. We're all on board. Team Liquid all the way over Evil Geniuses. I think this is another perfect game to come in. Brox has a full week. His jet lag, I believe, should probably be over after that. You get a full week of practice with the team. Feeling good. I think morale is up on the team at this point, and things are starting to come. I really think things will start coming together here. What Ryan said, this is the turning point game for both teams, and I expect them both to play one to show that they don't belong where they are in the standings. I think top and bot side for both teams are playing at similar levels. Bang and Zagel have been surprisingly good this split so far. I disagree with that. I don't think that they've actually been good this split. I think Zagel and Bang have struggled this split. I think Bang has played better than he did on 100 Thieves, if that makes sense, but still not good in my opinion. Zagel, I think, has regressed in my just personally. But the big difference is mid-jungle. Sven versus Brox is a great matchup, but the one I watch is Jensen versus Zuke. The man who has been desperately trying to carry Liquid versus the man who is most out of sync with his team. That's the difference where it falls apart for Evil Geniuses. I can agree with that. I can agree with that part. Zuke does look out of sync quite a bit with the team. He did that last year, too, with Vitality towards the end of the year. All right. Mortals versus C9. This has got to go to C9, man. I'm not... It's the same as G2, and I was going to say I would never pick against G2 until they lose. Honestly, after losing 2, I probably still can't pick against G2 in pretty much any matchup. Like, seriously. I don't think there's a team that beats G2. I don't think I have the guts to pick G2 to lose a game against any team pretty much right now. Even though they're on 2 in their last 2 games. But yeah, all C9s, unless... I did just kind of predict C9 for Brian. I didn't actually look at it. Yeah, he picked C9. Okay, so I got those 2. And then... So Ryan said, Immortals have the first chance at a rematch with C9 since C9 nearly got a perfect game versus them. I think Immortals have looked more solid as a team, but C9 have shown no signs of slowing yet and aren't the team to give inches back in the mid game for Immortals veterans to take advantage of. 100% agree with that point. That is an excellent point. I think that Immortals plays so freaking boring. So boring. In that they just play until you make a mistake, then they slowly take advantage of it, then they play back, and they're like, okay, we can't do anything until the enemy makes a mistake. Then they do that again, and then they do like that again, and like that's their game plan. It's just slow, methodical, boring ass league. Like, it sucks to watch. It's just wait for the opponent that we won't do anything until you do something, and then we will do something. We will only react to anything you do. It's not fun to watch. It's just not fun. It's not terrible to do right now in a slower meta, but it's just, I don't see that as a personal, like from a personal standpoint, I don't see that as a trademark of a good team. I see that as a trademark of a lazier team or a team taking advantage of other teams' poor play, where like you're not showing your strength as much as you're highlighting the enemy's weaknesses. Where I want to see a team like Cloud9 really show people their strength and being just flat out aggressive, styling on people, making sure that they absolutely are known as the best player at their role at that time. Like that's the type of league I like to see, and that's the type of league that I give more points to or more like credit to players, because I think that's a very like stronger like proving ground to me. If you're showing how strong of a team you are instead of just highlighting how bad of a team you're facing, like that's better in my opinion. So it's just the way I look at the game. Ryan said, I said surprisingly. Oh, this is about EG. I said surprisingly good, and considering Zazel lives under a terror, sneaky and lane all that stuff. The fact that he still hasn't good engagement actually fun. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Zazel's been very disappointing since like spring split, I think, or was it summer split following year, like 2018 summer split was like his peak, and it's been kind of downhill since. It's been I've been disappointed by that because Zazel was like a beast on the Brahms and the Alistairs of the world. All right, yeah, we all see 9 there. Simple enough. 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians. This one is actually split. I think Golden Guardians will take down 100 Thieves because simply
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Taking that back. I'm taking it back. We're going 100 Thieves. Going 100 Thieves on the fly right there. 2018 summer was his debut split. He was pretty good in his debut split, wasn't he? Or was it? Am I thinking spring 2019? I'm thinking he had one really good split. Like I'm trying to remember. I can't think of it. 100 Thieves though, Finn. I'm really hoping here. I'm hoping. Hunter has not played overly well this split, I don't think. So I'm hoping that someday can get a pop-off game against him and just carry the team. Also relying on Cody's son to just step up his game, man. I'm so upset with Cody's son. Cody's son and Double have had very bad splits, which is very interesting to me. For being a slower paced game, you'd feel like but I guess explosive ADCs aren't in the meta at the moment, really. You know, it's more very safety ADCs that are, and I don't see either of those players as safety players. Cody's son, you imagine it's Tristana going in, whether it gets a double kill or it loses the game. Your choice to look at which one you want to look at. Like double with that, I expect like Lucian or something, like just going like super difficult. You can't say Vulcan carried Cody's son because Cody's son was doing it before Vulcan as well. He was actually performing really high level before Vulcan with Ole. He did very well, and but yeah, before Ole's mental broke. But I'm a little worried, but I think they can bounce back against Golden Guard. I think this is going to be a bad week I think Golden Guardians regresses, which is why I have them at number 6 right now. Because I want to be proven wrong here, and that they can prove me wrong and actually beat Cody's son in lane as well for Keith and FPI. Because I loved FPI on Bombers for OPL at MSI last split. That was when we first found out about him, really. Man, that was a treat to watch. I was super excited, but still not sold on Keith's support. Not sold there yet. It's improved, not sold. Did Ole carry Cody's son? No. Cody's son is a beast. Yeah. Brian also has 100 Thieves here, and which I thought is kind of surprising because I thought he would have given up 100 Thieves. So I would have to ask him with that prediction. And Ryan, you have Golden Guardians, and the reason that you picked Golden Guardians is a chance for Golden Guardians to prove that they belong in playoff contention and a chance for 100 Thieves to find their groove again. But my prediction is on the team with momentum and a grudge to avenge their first game they feel they should have won. Fair point. All right, let's wrap up the Sunday games with a FlyQuest versus CLG. Fly. Flu. The flu is going to win over CLG. Even if CLG found new life before this week and managed to upset C9, I still expect them to lose this game because that's just something CLG would do. Perfect description, right? Oh, man. Yes, Brian picked Golden Guardians to beat FlyQuest, but not 100 Thieves. That's why I said I needed to pick his brain on that one. It was an interesting pick for me as well. He might be trying to make some moves because he's kind of down in the standings a bit. So we'll have to see. Or maybe he just truly believes in 100 Thieves, like we always do every year. And we're actually just looking quickly. Monday night games, we are all evened out. So let's see. Ryan, we have 3 different predictions this week. Me and Brian have 2 different predictions. So yeah, we got some spice here, a little bit of spice. Not a crazy ton amount, but you know. We all have TSM over Evil Geniuses. I think it's fair to say TSM probably going to have a bounce back week this week. They went 0-2. We overreacted last time they went over 2 and put them way lower than they should have. We probably actually put them lower this time as well. At 5th, they probably should be a little bit higher than that. But yeah, Ryan mentioned that the continued quest for TSM to alternate 0-2 and 2-0 weeks continues here. I don't see Evil Geniuses matching the early storm from TSM, and I don't see them having resiliency to adapt and pivot mid to late game. A million times agree. Evil Geniuses mid to late game is god awful, and that it really benefits TSM so that they don't fumble it themselves. And even Evil Geniuses have a decent early start. TSM has shown some scrappy engages that can break uncoordinated teams, and that fits EG to a T. Great note. Ryan said, I had my best week in predictions this week by far. If I win out on my Golden Guardian picks, I can make some serious distance. Yeah, for sure. Watch them fail me now. Dude, that's what it's like rooting for any NA team right now outside of Cloud9 or CLG. You expect them to win or you expect them to lose, and then anything else, you're like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Last game of the week is Team Liquid versus Dignitas. I have Team Liquid, like I said, they are going to bounce back huge. And we're going to be talking, I almost wanted to take some screenshots from the Immortals game and all the people. I get it. It's Team Liquid has been on top so long for the last 4 splits, so it's like everyone kind of wants to see them fail. They're the villain. It makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. And I want to take screenshots from the Immortals game of all the fans cheering and be like, oh, Team Liquid sucks. Actually, they have Broxa. Broxa didn't solve the issue or whatever. I just wanted to have those in case, because I told you guys early in the podcast, and I told Ryan earlier, I guarantee Team Liquid's going to finals this year. Don't know if they'll win. I don't think they will win, actually, with the way that Cloud9's playing. I do not think they'll win at all. I don't think any former Team Liquid beats that former Cloud9 is at the moment. But they'll probably be in finals. They'll definitely be in finals, that's in my opinion. Ryan mentioned that Dig will be looking to prove that round 1 wasn't a fluke, but Double Lift will be looking to put Johnston back in his place, and Broxa looking to flex hard on Greg. Yeah, Broxa versus Greg is going to be a major point of this game, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, those are the predictions. We'll have them on an actual real screen by next podcast, hopefully. Ryan, I think you'll be on next podcast, right? And Ryan said C9 went from 10th place to finals in summer 2018, going through serious roster changes. Teal had the talent to do it. Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's even a little bit different in that scenario where there's a little more spread in the standings. A little bit. There was still a clump for sure. There's always a clump in NA, but definitely, like I said, Team Liquid can literally be in second place this week. They go 2-0 and FlyQuest and Immortals both go 0-2. All of a sudden, Team Liquid's in second place. It'd be why were we worried? They're literally only behind Cloud9 now. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. But with that, I think that should be our podcast this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ryan will be on next week, which is nice to hear. Brian will probably hopefully be on next week as well. So we'll be able to get back to the 3-man podcast, which is always a lot more fun for me anyway. I always like arguing and, stuff like that. It's kind of hard doing solo podcasts because you're like, oh yeah, I agree with my point. Thank you. Genius point, William. Good job. You know what I mean? It's hard to play devil's advocate with yourself. But yeah. All right. That should be it for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will do LEC tomorrow, which is, I know, a day and the day after it's supposed to be, because today is technically supposed to be LEC, but that's okay because we won't be doing the Wildcard podcast. Ryan just mentioned right before I go, I hope Team Liquid bounces back, makes their last game spicy. Absolutely, I want to see that spicy game between C9 and Team Liquid. Final game of the year, final for both of them, and final game. And that could really determine first or second place. Who knows? Probably not. Cloud9 is probably going to steamroll. I think the amount of losses Team Liquid already has, with 5 losses, I think it's already too much to regain first place. Personally, I think it's insane. Unless we see an epic collapse by C9, we won't see that. But yeah, that will be it. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow for LEC. Good night.